Cheers, you dregs. How we doing tonight? Welcome to the Mike Files. Oh, what a fun day. What a fun day. Did everybody have a good day? Everybody stay busy? Did you stay busy? I hope you did. I really hope you stayed busy. I did. Just extremely busy. Just surreptitiously busy. I found some petrified wood. No, don't get your mind in the gutter. Come on now. Actually, I did. It was kind of cool. It was a spot out there, way out there in the boonies. You guys wouldn't know what I'm talking about. But it's a spot that's just, it's weird. It's hard to explain. I've been doing some videos out there. I'm going to piece them all together and put them out. But this place I was at today, it's a really weird spot. It's hard to explain. It's like a big canyon. It's all black silt. And there's some, there's ATV trails and shit like that through there. But not many people go out there. And there's all these stumps. I guarantee, they're stumps, but they're petrified. But the tops of them are charred. Now it takes 5,000 to 10,000 years for wood to become petrified, at least. Some of it's there for longer. So the way I see it is the tops are charred, they're black. It looks like it was on fire, but it's petrified. And I can take my knife, my little, I've got a little rock hammer and, little spatula, but I can dig down under and pop it up, and the stuff underneath doesn't have that, but across the top it's all burnt. Well, you can't burn petrified wood. So to me, it says that there was some kind of a fire out there, and it's a weird area with all that. It's just like big dumps of silt. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is, but anyway, got a nice big chunk of petrified out of that. So I'm interested to cut into it and see what's inside, because sometimes it's agatized and has got cool shit inside of it. But this was one of those most solid chunks that I could find. That thing is like this, and it's that thick, and well, it's about the same as big around. So I'm going to go out and have a look at it here after I get done talking to you knuckleheads. So I'm going to start it off with monologue, which is not nothing unusual, because that's what the whole show is, First of all, I would encourage anybody out there that is into podcasts to check out Tulsi Gabbard has a podcast out there. And the one she put out tonight was excellent. And I would recommend watching that if you're concerned whatsoever about what's going on, because I know I'm concerned. We're talking, nuclear war right now. We haven't been on the precipice of anything like this since the Cuban missile crisis, you know what I'm saying? And we had to come to a compromise with that thing. I know nobody remembers. It was a long time ago. I don't remember because I wasn't alive. But I read about it. That's what history class is all about, people. And there's plenty of information out there for you, But we're in a dangerous time. The whole world. Not just us in the U.S., but the whole fucking world. We're talking about madmen and women who are running this shit show. And the one thing Putin's not going to do is take some kind of a humiliating walk away. And I think that these people are they're really underestimating. They're saying, oh, it's just, you can't take that shit as just a threat. Oh, he's just posturing. We have like 6,500 nukes. Russia's got like 6,850. Now that's enough to blow up every fucking city on the planet and still have plenty left over for who knows who. It won't be any of us. The proliferation that happens. With one of these weapons, they're 60 times more powerful than what was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, okay? We're talking from 5 miles away, we're talking first degree burns, and 7 miles away, we're talking, 5 miles, we're talking third degree burns, 7 miles, talking like, whatever the word, first degree burns. It goes, you always think first degree, you think that's the worst, but apparently in burn world, not to poke fun at anybody who's burned or has burns, I'm not doing that, but it just goes the other way. Because you think like second degree murder is less severe than first degree, right? Anyway, not to get off on that tangent. But I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I got to think about, just because I'm always in hypothetical land, but being across the globe, you think about it, do the people, do we want to blow each other up? I heard a story about, it was in World War II, and, the U.S. and the Germans were in the foxholes or whatever, and they were having a problem with these wolves were coming in and picking them off, and they actually called an armistice, a ceasefire to take out the wolves, right? So here you've got a bunch of 18, 19, 20-year-old men, maybe some, like a seasoned veteran back then in World War II was probably maybe 25. The guy probably seemed ancient, and they had a ceasefire, and they took care of this wolf problem together, right? And then they went right back at it. Now, can you imagine? You're sitting there and you're looking at these cats. They're looking at you, and you're like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? We're killing each other. I mean, Panic wrote a song called Saint X. And the lyric that really gets you, if you know the background of the song, is if I knew you, I never would have shot you down. And it's about a pilot that shot down the author of his favorite children's book in that war. Pretty heavy shit. The dude wrote the book, The Little Prince. And now I can't remember his name. But everybody always gets up and goes to take a piss or get a beer during that song. But I don't usually, just because I looked into the history of it and the background of the song and why it was written. And that's pretty crazy to think that war puts you in a position where you quite possibly shoot down like your favorite author because he's on the other team. That's pretty fucked up shit. So, I mean, you look at it, right? If we were all just citizens on the rock, we'd all just get along just fine. Would we not? Think about that. I mean, I've never met a Russian person I didn't like. I mean, if my boy Sergey is out there, man, I wish I could see your ass again. This dude was hilarious, man. He was, that guy, and what a story. I mean, I'm not going to get into his story right now. Maybe I will someday. Maybe someday I can track him down. I doubt it. I don't know. He was pretty much off the radar. I just remember him taking me to his job one time, He told me, I work at pizza place. I'm like, okay. So we go there. The light is not on out front. You got nice-ass cars outside. You go in, it's smoky, booths full of these Russian dudes. I mean, and not a pizza being cooked in there. It just smells like cigar smoke. Everybody's drinking vodka. These guys are all talking hush-hush and this and that, doing their thing. And he offered me he gave me a stack of cards, like just white, like an ATM card, only they were just pure white. And on the back, each one had a PIN number written on it, and that was back when all they had were the magnetic strips. There was no chips, nothing like that. And he was like, "You make good money doing this. You go to ATM, you take cards, you pull out max amount of money, you keep 10%, you bring the rest back." I said, "Yeah, man, no. I ain't into that, man." And they're kind of looking at me like, "What? The sketches?" I was like, "No, dude, I don't do that, man." I do other things, So, but great guy, great story too. I mean, the way he got to the United States. But I digress. I mean, I've never met a Russian dude I haven't liked. I mean, I had beef with one Mexican cat back in the day after he sliced me across the eye. I still got a scar under there, but we're cool now. We were cool afterwards. Things happen, misunderstandings and shit like that and whatnot and what forth and so on and so forth, I mean, I met, I had a friend, she was Ethiopian, and her and her cousin, we used to hang out all the time, I'd never had Ethiopian food. And she's like, "My family has a restaurant. You should come for dinner." I'm kind of like, no, I'm Ethiopian. I don't know. I've never eaten African food. I went in there. Oh my God. It was great. Her parents treated me like family. I mean, You know, you see the commercials with them wanting, 39 cents will save a baby, and you think Ethiopian food. I don't know, but man, come on. If you got a chance, if you've eaten it, you know what I'm talking about. Canadians, great people, good beer, better syrup. You know, I mean, you can't get a better conversation than sitting down with a Native American elder if you're willing to listen. You know, I mean, we all just want to understand each other. You know, I mean, if you live someplace and you got a taco van up the street, go get those carnitas or some al pastor. Visit an El Salvadorian restaurant. MS-13 doesn't live there. It's great food, great people. You know, I mean, it's just crazy. And if you have the inclination, come out here to Wyoming. You know, yeah, we're a bunch of white people, but who else would be dumb enough to live out here for the winters? I mean, laugh at yourselves. Laugh at each other, for fuck's sake. You know, regardless of language, cultural barriers, we don't have problems with each other. We just all want to know about each other. I mean, people are intrinsically curious. It's silly that we've got this shit going on. I mean, we're talking about nuclear fucking proliferation right now. You know? I mean, and this is a serious thing. It's not. This is not some fucking joke around fucking laughing matter. It's not some fucking goofy shit that, you've got ice cream cone head talking about how the economy is strong as hell. Who thinks that the economy is strong as hell right now? Any of you out there? If you do, then sound off and tell me how you think that the fucking economy is strong as hell. And tell me that while you're eating a fucking waffle cone and dribbling all over your fucking $5,000 suit. Joe Biden doesn't care. Chuck Schumer doesn't care. They're all going to be dead soon anyways. What do they give a fuck? They just want to amass as much wealth as they can. And then I don't know what they think. They're stupid. See, this is the thing. This is why stupidity is dangerous. And this is what I'm talking about. Because you're talking about men and women that they've been able to play the game, right? They think they're fucking smart. Pelosi's worth hundreds of millions, 140, whatever the fuck it is. Her husband can get away with glug, glug, vroom, vroom, and hit Mr. Lopez and no big deal. You know, Hunty can go, and I feel bad. Honestly, and I'm going to tell you this right now. He's a corrupt dude. Hunter Biden is. There's no doubt about it. But you know who I blame for that? I blame the father. Because you look at the family, okay? Now, Hunter, he was a survivor of the car accident. They killed his mother. Now, they tried to spin it to make it sound like that truck driver was drunk. He was not drunk. And that man has spent his entire life trying to exonerate himself. He wasn't drunk. Biden's wife pulled out in front of that truck. Sorry, folks. Look it up. Look it up. You know, in 2004, I'm sorry. No, I guess it would have been 2008. My bad. He came out and sang this sad song about his wife was killed by a drunk driver. The dude wasn't drunk. Okay, this is just another one of Biden's lies. Just like his house wasn't struck by lightning. It was a kitchen fire. It was out in 20 minutes. House didn't burn down. His son, Bo, right, the other night he's talking. He says he died in Iraq. No, he didn't. He did not. His son, Bo Biden, unfortunately, and I'm not trying to even say anything whatsoever other than the truth. His son, Bo, died over here. He died here of cancer in a hospital bed. He did not die on the battlefield in Iraq, like Joe said the other night. Joe did not grow up Puerto Rican, like he said down in Puerto Rico. This hurricane was not, it wasn't a man-made hurricane, for fuck's sake. I mean, we got to start looking at these things and thinking a little bit. Common sense, critical thought. You know? I mean, like I said, one of the first classes that I had to take in college was critical thought. And it was an older lady, old white-haired lady, and she didn't take any shit off anybody, but I tell you what, I learned a lot from that class because even though it was, pre-internet, like the internet was just starting to kind of become a thing. I had never got on there. I mean, we had computer labs, but you just went there to type your papers, I didn't know what to do on the damn things anyways. But she taught you to cite your sources. Don't say anything that you can't back up. Look up what you're talking about. You know, if you read something in the paper, go do some research on it. Don't just buy it. Don't just believe it. Don't believe what you see on the news. And that's all. I mean, I don't think they even have a class like that anymore for kids. And they really should, because everybody out there believes the same dumb ass shit. They see it on a meme on Facebook and they think right away that that's the truth. Do you know how many of my homeboys I had to hit up when they put that meme out there that had a picture and it said, Guatemala's got a wall, why can't we? Yeah, Guatemala's got like a gate. They were showing the wall in Israel, for fuck's sake. And I'm like, listen, dude, you got to take that meme down, dude. You know, it's like, that's fucking Israel, dog. That ain't fucking Guatemala. And guys are like, oh, that's on Facebook. It's got to be true, right? And it's like, dude, come on, man. That's why I don't look at that shit. I get on there to get on the marketplace, and every once in a while, that's about it, you know? I know this goes out on there, but it just has gotten so stupid. Instagram, dumb. Crap chat, dumb. Twitter is fucking ridiculous. I got this one female. I know it's a bot, but she just says the most outlandish, trollish shit. And if I have the inclination, I'm always just like, oh, you are just an outstanding troll, aren't you? I'm like, thank you for posting this. I just get a kick out of you every time. I mean, it's just fucking hilarious, you know? It's just amazing, you know? And here we are. We've got people's lives have been unnecessarily taken. The shit that's gone down in Ukraine, trust me, I don't take that lightly. But here's the thing, is that NATO and the powers that be are the ones that have initiated this. We've poked the proverbial bear. And there was an agreement that we weren't going to encroach, not one more inch. And we made Ukraine believe that they were actually going to become part of NATO. But there's a recording of it with them saying, no, Zelensky, you're not going to be a part of NATO. But what we want you to do is keep acting like there's a possibility. Because what they wanted to do was sacrifice the people of Ukraine, make them think that, make them play the game that they were going to get in NATO, even though Zelensky knew he wasn't. I mean, he threw that Hail Mary the other day where he put in that expedited membership or whatever, and they shot that shit down quicker than shit. I mean, that dude knows that. I mean, he's fucked. Straight up. I mean, and they can say whatever they want in the media, but you can't believe what the mainstream media is telling you, because they're lying to you. They are lying right through their fucking teeth. That's why a guy like Jackson Hinkle has had his YouTube show demonetized. That's why PayPal has demonetized him and banned him, and he can't get paid. He's had to go to Rumble. He's had to do other things, and he's a smart young man. And I would encourage you to check out his show. It's called The Dive with Jackson Hinkle. He's often a guest on the Jimmy Dore Show, which you guys all know that I love the shit out of Jimmy. And all them cats on there. I don't know whatever happened between Graham Elwood and Jimmy, and it's not my business. But Ron Placone's on there. You got the American fucking what's his face, Mesker. He's hilarious. Jimmy's wife is Steph. She's hilarious. But it's like that. It's that comedy that's truth. Aaron Monte's always on there. Max Blumenthal. Blumenthal. You got I'm trying to think. I haven't seen Greg Palance on there for a while. Great journalist, And everybody think about Julian Assange, too. If you have a second, look him up. That dude needs to be let go. He needs to be freed. And there's nothing that can be done to compensate that man. He did nothing wrong. He never published anything that was false. He had people like the fucking Hillary Clintons of the world put him down. And speaking of which, watching what happened with that whole fiasco What a joke. She just skates free. She orchestrated all of Russiagate. And guess what? Most of you got sucked in by it. Some of you didn't. But the majority of you did. And guess what that makes you? It makes you stupid. And I'm sorry if you take offense at that. But if you do take offense at it, then maybe you got to look in the mirror. Because the only time that we take offense is when things hit a little too close to home. You know what I'm saying? When that shit smacks you in the face, you want to get all offended. Instead of sitting back and going, oh shit, I was fucked up. And if I'm fucked up, tell me. If I'm fucked up and wrong, tell me. I would consider it a favor. I always say that. You catch me up in some bullshit, tell me. I'm big enough to admit when I'm wrong. I got no problem with that whatsoever. If I'm fucked up, you tell me. I spend hours, yet it might not look like it, but I spend a lot of time researching and putting time into what I'm saying, what I'm telling you. You know, I'm not just coming off the cuff and just making shit up. I mean, it is off to, you know, what I do is off the cuff to it a little bit, you know. I mean, it's you know, but it's all stuff that I've taken in, researched, chewed on for a while, you know, and then done the back work on it too, you know. I mean, I don't just read one article and then consider that to be fact. Like, I'll read one article and then I go and find another one. You know, I use a news aggregator that has the left, the right, and the center side of things, and I tend to read every side of it before I come up with an opinion, you know. And it just so happens that where we're at right now is, I mean, you want to talk about a stupid place we're in. We are in a stupid place, and we've allowed it to happen. We've allowed it to happen because, first of all, and y'all know where I'm coming from with this. I've been over it a million times. The idea of a fucking president is absolutely stupid. We should just have a spokesperson. And that person shouldn't be allowed to say anything other than, well, we kind of have that, but he goes off the cuff too. You know, he asks where dead people are, you know, and not to throw anything on Jackie that he was looking for. And I'm sorry, I know I've got her last name here somewhere, but I have so many names on my brain that it escapes me. It was unfortunate. She died in a car accident with some staffers and that. And he's out there asking for her. Apparently he got his wife confused with somebody the other day. I almost can't even stand to watch the guy anymore. It's pathetic. Because I love this country. I love the people of this country. I love the country itself, you know, and to see what has happened, it's just gut wrenching. To see what it's like every time you got to go to the store. Who goes to the store and feels happy about things? I was looking at milk prices, right? Because I was thinking about when I was a kid, there was, you know, me and two younger brothers. And when there was a time, I mean, we were 5 years apart. So when I was a senior, then my younger brother would have been 8th grade, you know, 7th grade, 8th grade. You know, you can get anywhere from 13 to 15 to 18-year-old boy in the house, you know. And trust me, I wasn't a man at that time either at 18, no way. But I mean, we drank some fucking milk, I can tell you that much. And I remember when milk like hit. Like in 1990, it was $1.05. I mean, there wasn't a time when there wasn't 3 gallons of milk in that fridge. My mom was always buying milk. I mean, we'd drink that, I mean, at dinner time, oh my God. I mean, there was times I remember, especially growing up, I mean, 16, 17 years old, go out there in the kitchen at night, look around, and grab a fresh gallon and just neck that whole thing down, you know? And it hit $2 a gallon. I mean, she was just like beside herself. I mean, and now, I mean, I grabbed a gallon of milk the other night, $4.69 for a gallon of milk. Same price as gas. You know? That's exactly what I paid the other day for the premium. Now I run premium in my small engines. I don't run that 87 bullshit. I got to have the shit that's ethanol free. And if you have anything small engine or carbureted. If you own an old truck or a car that's got a carburetor on it, do not put that ethanol shit in your vehicles or your small engines. It will mess your shit up. And whatever you're running to, I would suggest use that Marvel Mystery Oil. And you definitely, if you got gas cans that you fill up, I do that just to have them on hand. Put Stable in them, because your gas is only going to last about 60 days. It's going to go bad. And if you got a diesel, sell it, I guess, unless you got to pull a trailer like me. I mean, I could pull it with the old F-150, but not very well. That damn diesel. Anywho, no, it's just, it's wild. I just don't think that we really understand what's going on here. And you've got this election that's going on. You got this Stacey Abrams down in Georgia saying that, this is the most insane thing that I've heard. She's telling black women, if you want to stop inflation, have an abortion. Now, if I were to tell you that underpopulation could be the end of humanity, you'd probably look at me and go, what do you mean? It's overpopulation, right? No, it's not. Think about what happens if we go into a nuclear fucking war. You know, get on FEMA's website and look up the map that shows the potential sites. And I'm not just talking about cities. There's nuclear power plants all over this country. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a city to do damage. And the thing is, too, is the coordinates go bad. And here's the thing. We don't have the capability to take these weapons down. If Russia wants to fire off with one of their big boys at us, we don't have the technology to do it. I don't think people understand that. And dipshit just gave away all of our strategic oil reserves. So we don't even have enough fuel to fight a fucking war right now. Do you understand that? Anybody think about this? Hello? Fucking McFly, wake the fuck up. We don't have the ability to fight a war. That's why we're doing this war by proxy. There's a lot of nefarious fucking deeds going on here. There's a lot of nefarious people. And what it comes down to is Russia, they call it the motherland. Well, look at, they've got tons of oil. They got gas. Look at everything else that they produce. They are a resource-rich country. You got the salt mines of Siberia for where you go if you fuck up and you piss Putin off. Hey, guess what? Welcome to the salt mines. They have a lot of resources, and we want them. NATO wants those resources. Europe wants those resources. Why do you think that we fought so hard about Nord Stream, about those pipelines? Why? Who blew them up? Who benefited from those things being blown up? It wasn't fucking Russia. That was an act of war. It was straight, and to sit there and listen to, fucking dipshit like fucking Antony Blinken. He gets up there and straight up says it. He says, well, this is a great opportunity. I mean, he just as much as said it. These people are not good liars. They don't have a good poker face. They get up there, you can tell, I mean, these people, you can absolutely pick every single one of them off. They have tells like nobody's business. Biden won't answer a question. He gets up there and he, what did he say to Ducey yesterday? Oh my God. Ducey asked me, he goes, well, what's the main issue here? Is it inflation or abortion? And he said, well, it's not just one issue. It's not like you. He's already called Ducey a stupid son of a bitch once. I mean, that kid, he's the smartest one sitting there. That fucking Jean-Pierre, she just about loses her shit every time she has to call on him. She's like, oh, here we go. And then she tries to talk all condescending to him, like she knows something. Well, you see, Peter, she acts like she's, but when she doesn't have an answer, that's what people do. They deflect. They try to make you look fucking stupid. you've got Stacey Abrams telling black women to have abortions, right? And you got Kanye West, right? Shout out to Kanye, right? I mean, I've had my dealings with him, but you know what? I mean, he came out and fucking said that shit about Soros today. It's like, whew. I mean, you want to talk about a dude put a target on his back? That dude's got fucking cojones, man. He might be a short dude, but you know what? I mean, he's got some balls. Bipolar or not, I guess we're all bipolar, but I mean, he's speaking truth. He's speaking truth. And people are talking shit and mad at him. You know what, Kanye? Fucking go for it, brother. You know what I'm saying, man? I mean, keep going, man. What else you got to lose? I mean, well, fucking, speak truth, man. Speak truth. I mean, I'm not with his, whatever. We all got our own religious things or whatever, or we don't. It don't matter. That doesn't mean anything. That's for each person to decide on their own. So, I mean, don't matter about the God shit and this and that and the other thing. I mean, if that's what's giving him peace, then more power to him. You know what I mean? He's a talented individual, and that dude's been through a lot. I told him one night I didn't envy him, and he looked at me like, who the fuck are you? Like, I was like, dude, look at all these people you're responsible for, man. I mean, that's crazy, but I mean, between him and Candace Owens and I mean, he's ruffling some feathers, especially calling out George Soros, man. I know he's got some dudes behind him. Hopefully they're up to the test, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. It's pretty silly, though. This is why that's why it always comes down to the same thing with me. It's like, it's time to just walk away from it, because it does not matter. They're trying to make this midterm election like it's, the end all be all. Like they always make these things to be these catastrophic deals. But I'll tell you what's a catastrophic deal is the fact that you've got a country like Russia that's been pushed back into a corner. Anybody ever seen a raccoon when it's cornered? Yeah, they're all smiley and happy and this funny looking little creatures, right? Scurrying along. Get one in a corner and see how that works out. Or a badger. I ran up on a badger with my dirt bike. I didn't see the little motherfucker until, I kind of went up over like a little hill and a corner, and I came around, and here he is. He's waddling down the middle of the road, and he turns around and sees me. I hit the brakes. He's just a little shit, right? I mean, my house cat's probably about the same size because I got a big ass cat. It's not really a house cat. He's a killer, but he's in the house during the day. He's out there hunting at night. But that badger turned around and got up on his haunches and looked at me and bared his teeth, and he let out this hiss like I'd never heard before. And I was just like sitting there. I had nowhere to go. And I looked at him. I was just like, it's all right, man. I'm trying to talk to the thing, and it's looking at me and hissing, and it sees I'm not, no trouble or whatever, and he just takes off waddling down the hole. But you don't want to get that in the corner. And that's what we've done to Putin, And I mean, he went in there. Nobody understands those people in that Donbass region were getting shelled. 14,000 of them. Innocent people killed by neo-Nazis, who the New York Times has exalted, the Azov fucking battalion. These are neo-Nazis. This is what we're funding. 30% of the weapons that we've spent our tax dollars on to send over there have made it onto the battlefield. Where'd the other 70% go? What was in that fucking plane going from Serbia to Bangladesh that mysteriously turned into a ball of flames in the sky that was had 8 Ukrainian crew members? They were all dead by the time it hit the ground. Thing landed in Greece. And the guy that is the equivalent of Victor Boot was the one that was behind that shipment. Don't tell me, if you know anything about this, that it hasn't crossed your mind that the weapons on that plane came from over here. And we buy weapons from Serbia. What the fuck are we buying weapons from Serbia for? Hmm. Weird. I mean, we got to get these motherfuckers out. Like, they need their power taken away. Straight up. Democrats, Republicans, all of them. It's time to start this thing over. It's time to bring our people back home. It's time to worry about what we have going on right here at home. If you don't clean your own house, you cannot damn sure go out there and try and play world police. It's time for that shit to end. The world police bullshit has got to end. We have enough in this country to not only take care of ourselves, but to take care of others. We are in a very crucial place in history right now. And it doesn't matter for you and me. It doesn't matter for me. It matters for my kid. It matters for his kids. It matters for the generations coming. I've lived on this earth almost 47 years, and I tell you what, I'm happy with it. I'm fine with it. It don't matter. I got nothing left to fucking, I'm not leaving anything on the fucking table. It doesn't matter, I don't care. I've had a hell of a run. I'm going to continue to do so. But you know what? When it's over, and I'm not fucking scared or worried about it. But you know what? I mean, inside of us, there's a genetic, intuition, an instinct, obviously, just like any species that we want to preserve, we want to maintain the species. I mean, because if we didn't, then what would we give a fuck for? I mean, we all know that we're going to die, right? I mean, you all know that, right? I mean, I know that some people are in like denial on this. A lot of people don't think that it's going to happen to them. They can't comprehend it. They've never thought about it. They've never sat down and like contemplated their own demise. Maybe it's morbid to you, but guess what? Death is part of life. That's all there is to it. To sit there and deny it is stupid. And to chase material goods, to chase money, to chase power, to try and be dominant over people less fortunate than you is bullshit. And that's not why you're here. You're not here to do that. It's not about he who dies with the most toys. Guess what? Still fucking dies. You can have all the toys on the fucking world. I have toys, but I have toys that are useful, right? Like, and anything that I've had to go do some inventory, and I've gotten rid of a lot of shit. I mean, yeah, I've got a lot of stuff. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, to me, to look at everything that I do have now, I can be nothing but grateful and thankful, and I mean, I've got nothing but gratitude. I mean, to come back out from losing everything and to be able to do the things that I do, to pursue the things that I want to pursue, it doesn't come without cost. Everything is, takes sacrifice, it all does. But what's it worth? What's it worth to you to have the, I guess, the peace of mind to know that you're doing something that you want to do, and to have joy with what you're doing, and to not have to, I mean, I couldn't be more thankful that I don't have to go punch a clock. I get job offers every day. My email is full of them, and it's just like, no fucking way. There's no way. You got to serve somebody, but at least you can, you can pick and choose who you're going to serve. And if you're unhappy with your trajectory, you can always change it. You can always change it. People might think you're crazy. They might think that you're nuts. But who gives a fuck what people think? Because they're going to die and you're going to die. So who gives a shit? Don't have it all end with any regrets. Don't leave regret on the table, right? Regret is something you don't want to leave on the table. Period. There's a couple things you don't want to leave on the table. You don't want to leave regret on the table. And you don't want to be holding any grudges. I mean, even these government people, right? I mean, I cannot stand Nancy Pelosi. I cannot stand Chuck Schumer. But I tell you what, you take those two and you put them in a room with me for a week or so without them having their bullshit, and guess what? You're going to have a couple of different cats. I'm dead serious, you know? I mean, I don't think that people are inherently trying to go out there and do evil. They just get sucked in, and they get sucked into a system that's corrupt. And where's the corruption come from? And we always come down to this. It comes from the money, the greed, the need for power. It's addictive. It's what people, you know, they get sucked into it, right? Your biggest stress factor in your life. Tell me right now. Sound off. What's your biggest stress factor in life? And if you're up at this time of the night and listening to this, then you're not necessarily sleeping well, are you? Either you went out and you got corned up tonight, or you can't sleep like me. But I'm going to go to sleep when this is done. I've been working on this thing all day. It's kind of funny. I sit here and I write pages and pages and pages, and then I just sit here and talk. It's just a veritable plethora of fucking useless information, I guess. But I mean, it's time to do some thinking about this, folks, because this is a mess. We're in a mess. I don't want to see my people that live in the big cities get incinerated. And I mean, if you think about it, we're talking about there's some 13,000 some odd fucking nuclear weapons in this world. I mean, Kim Jong-un's got 15 of them, supposedly. I bet he's got more than that. Russia's got more than anybody. And regardless of what they say, what they tell you, we can't take these things down. They start showing us, they've tried to tell you that we've got these technologies that could take these things down. No, we don't. You do your homework. Don't listen to the fucking news. Do not. That's your biggest mistake, folks. MSDNC, CNN, Fox News, unless you're watching Tucker. And sometimes he's, you know, a little sideways, but, and I like Gutfeld. Gutfeld's funny as shit. I think he's a good dude. I think he's got good things at heart. You know? I mean, I'm still saying, fuck the vote. You want to go get a sticker? Go ahead. But the thing is that most people are too dumb. You know? Most people don't even understand what I'm saying right now, and I'm a fucking bozo. I'm just some jackass idiot sitting here in Wyoming trying to figure it all out, and I'm an idiot, and I mean, and I have a hard time having conversations with people that look at me like, what the fuck are you talking about, for the most part. I mean, thankfully I live out here, though. A lot of people out here in this part of the country are actually a lot more intelligent on this shit than the people in the city. And you city folks, I'm concerned about all you. I am. Because the way this thing's headed, the crime that's going on, the shit that's happening in these cities that's going down. I mean, these goddamn people that are just either mentally ill or just evil out there doing the things they're doing. And then they just, you know, they get arrested and they get turned right back out on the street with no bail, and they just go out and go right back at it. We're talking about, I mean, there are psychopathic people, and when you're talking about a big city with 14 million people, whatever, I mean, you throw 1,000 psychos out there and you're going to have some fucking damage, especially if they're not even going to lock these motherfuckers up, you know? I mean, what do you do with people like that? You know, in the Old West, it was like, you want to act like that, guess what? You know, I mean, you might play it out for a while, but, you know, it turned out how it did, I suppose. I don't advocate violence at all, but, you know, when it comes down to self-defense, I'd just say, especially females in the cities, you guys, it would be good if you, number one, took some self-defense classes. All right. Number two, get yourself a concealed carry permit. Pack some heat. Even if you can't get one, I'd say go get yourself something that you got on you. Pack some heat. And here's another thing you need to get is a good flashlight. Okay. You're going, what? Huh? Flashlight? Yes. Get yourself a tactical flashlight. I'm telling you, that will do you better than anything, especially if you got some self-defense, if you know how to handle yourself, and you got to get like the bright lumen flashlight. I got one sitting across the studio here. I can't get up and grab it right now, but I'd show you if I were to shine that in the camera right now, you'd be, whoa. I mean, I got a couple of them around the house, because when you got an intruder, guess what? Your baseball bat, your firearm, whatever, it probably isn't going to do you a lot of good. You know, place a hammer here and there. That's something you can swing. You ain't going to swing a bat in the hallway. You get up, where are you going to keep your gun? The only gun safe I've seen that's worth a shit was a guy that I did some work for, and he had a biometric one next to his bed that it only read his fingerprint. And so it stayed locked, and he could keep it loaded. And if he's laying in bed and there's an intruder, he'd just wave his hand over the thing. The thing would slide open. Fully loaded pistol comes out. Glock. You know? I mean, if you got that kind of cheese. Me, I can't even own a firearm. So I got to improvise. But don't think that means I haven't improvised, because you know what? There's a lot of different things you can do to make sure that you're all right, and it doesn't have to be owning a firearm. But the people in the city, seriously, the people I know in the city, I'm concerned about. You know, I don't want to see nothing bad happen to you. And look what they did to that woman in D.C. They fucking threw her off the bus. These fucking thugs were sitting there fucking cursing. And I'm sorry, I'm cursing right now, but it's made known that my show is not for children. I don't claim to be Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. You know, but I can tell you what, I don't sit there in public and curse around little children. I don't speak like I do right now, because I know that adults are listening to this show. I know that there's not a bunch of little 8-year-old kids listening to this shit. It's labeled as not for kids, and it's not for kids. And I'm 100% honest with that. I could probably get more views if I was trying to be for kids and would say frick instead of fuck. But guess what? It's the same fucking thing. Same frickin' thing. Frickin' frackin' tennis racket. It's the same goddamn thing. Same gosh darn thing. See? You say a goddamn or gosh darn. It's the same thing. You know? All you holier than thou pious motherfuckers out there that say frick instead of fuck and say gosh dang it and shucky darns, and your intention is the same. And what the hell is it anyways? It's just a curse word. But if you're in a public place around little children, you should not be speaking that way. And if an older lady tells you or asks you to please stop, you throw her off the bus. That's what this country's coming to, and that is stupid. See, that's the unpredictability of stupidity right there. That's a problem, folks. The unpredictability of stupidity is absolutely the most terrifying thing there is. And that's what's scary about this world right now, is because even though fucking Conehead came into office and said, now the adults are in the room, he disproved that in a matter of minutes when he signed that bill to shut down the Keystone Pipeline and shut down all those federal leases for oil. And they say, well, there's 9,000 available. Who gives a shit? They're untested. They're unproven. Oil companies don't go out on unproven fucking leases and just, throw darts. I mean, he's given away all of our strategic reserves. Just unleashed what, 15 million barrels? That's nothing. That's like 3/4 of what we use in a day in this country. And did it go to us? No. It got put on a tanker and sent overseas. That's the stuff that we're supposed to be sitting on for an emergency. Strategic oil reserves. That's why we can't win a war right now. We can't win a war right now because of these assholes. They think that electric cars are what it's all about. Think about what it takes. All you fucking knuckleheads out there that think that the electric cars are the shit, where's the lithium coming from? Where is the cobalt coming from for your fucking solar panels and your green energy? What's it take to make one of those big ass fucking windmills like you see outside Ellensburg, Washington? And then watch it when the motherfucking grease and shit and the bearings go bad and the fucker lights on fire and fucking falls over. There's so much more that what are they made out of? They're not made out of fucking posies and fucking dandelions. It's fucking iron, dumb motherfuckers. How did they get that? You gotta fucking go in the ground for it, right? The funny thing is that I don't think anybody even understands anything about the idea that oil might be abiotic. It's damn sure not fossil fuels. And you can say whatever you fucking want about that. I don't give a shit. I'm going to have all these scientific knuckleheads trying to, well, you say what you snurdlies with your fucking little stupid pocket protectors and shit. Motherfucker, you've not been out where I'm at. You've not seen the remnants of the things that I see on a daily basis. I've got fucking 5-gallon pails full of fossil evidence and everything else that I've found at 6,000 feet in elevation right on the surface of the earth. You can't tell me when you're talking about drilling for oil that many thousands of feet down in the earth that it's fossil fuels. You're out of your fucking mind. You go, oh, well, it's plant matter. Come on, dude. So what, did the earth grow? Did it grow? Oh, well, okay, how did it end up down in the depths of the Gulf of Mexico? Well, more important, bullshit. Bullshit. I call bullshit on that thing big time. You know, and the other person that calls bullshit on it is my father, and he's spent over 35 years in the oil business. I mean, if anybody knows what's up with that, I asked him one day, I said, Pops, tell me what's up with this. He said, no, you're 100%. So the thing that's happened here in my area, in my neck of the woods, you see, I go out there and I'm, where I go out tooling around every day, I'm kind of skirting what they call Oregon Basin, which is a big ass oil field. And the big company that owned it sold out. And God damn it, they sold out right before I had a big contract with them. Oil had to hit like $39 a gallon. And I had like a big, huge job set up with them. It was going to just be awesome. And they sold out. Oil just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. And it wasn't worth it to drill. And then finally they called me up. They said, Mike, we sold out. So that's that. I'm like, fuck. But the company that bought it is notorious for being a company that goes in and they just suck the rest of the wells dry. They frack the rest of the shit, whatever they can get out, and they get in and they get out and they sell it. Well, what's happened with a lot of those capped off wells that were abandoned and left behind thinking they were dry, guess what? They're producing again. Where'd that come from? Dinosaurs? Might want to do some homework, people, because what they tell you and what you're taught in school and what you think is up and down is, it's seldom the same. It's seldom what you think it is. There ain't no up, there ain't no down. There's diagonal, there's sideways, there's it's not 3D. It's fucking 5D. It's 8D. We don't even have a comprehension of it. I sit there and listen to like a guy like Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about, quantum physics, and I'm like, oh, look, this just made, I was like, that just hurt my fucking eyeball. I mean, there's so much we don't know, but we all act like we know it. I've been on this earth 46 years. I'm sitting here telling you like I know something. But here's the thing, I'm smart enough to know that I don't know shit. The funny thing is that the stupid motherfuckers out there are the ones that know everything. And they want to sit there and argue science. Well, look, how did Tony Science work out for you? Yeah, that turned out really well, didn't it? That whole bunch of nonsense. And you still got idiots out there fucking whatever. Get the jab, don't get the jab. I don't give a fuck. But the thing is they never did any testing to see about what would happen as far as spreading the shit once you got it anyway. So they're sitting there talking about, oh, it's a fucking pandemic of the unvaccinated. Motherfucking just got vaccinated. We're out there fucking spreading the shit all over the fucking place. Look at it. I mean, the fucking dipshit gravy head got it twice. Same with his wife. You know how many people I've known that have gotten the shit twice? I got it twice, but guess what? It was like 2 years separated from each other. Once it mutated, I got it again. The second time, fucking no big deal. It was like a little bit of fucking feel kind of tired. Get a good night's rest and go back at it. First time, different story. First time, not fun. Second time, easy peasy. Then I got banned from YouTube for the second time because I just told the truth about how it played out. I didn't tell anybody I recommended doing what I did, but it was the truth. And I caught a ban on it, and it's never been right. I'm probably going to start another channel just because once you get fucking shadow banned, you know, I mean, my shit will not show up unless you like, subscribe, and make sure that you keep checking it. If you want to watch what I'm doing, there's nobody out there watching what I'm doing anyways, which is kind of disheartening. But I'm going to keep doing it because I don't give a shit and I'm stupid. So on that note, I'm stupid, and at least I'm fucking smart enough to know it, I guess. So there's a difference. So on that note, I'm going to fucking peace out for the night, this morning, whatever. I hope y'all got home safe from the bars if you're out carrying on tonight. Don't ever get behind the wheel impaired, please. You know, it ain't worth it. Just think about this number anytime you're thinking about getting behind that wheel. All right? The average cost of your first DUI is going to be the equivalent of taking a cab to and from the bar twice a week for 2 years. Marinate on that and show somebody some love. That's all you got to do. Be kind, all right? For 52 miles east of Jellystone Park in Coyote, Wyoming, as we always end it, be good or be good at it, and all things be kind and do no harm. Peace out. Love y'all.